For the build, I have added clean compile package. The clean means delete the existing target folder. Compile means compile the source code. Package means package the application to the WAR file. If you recall, in the build section, we just used the package one. Now this is the last and new section for you, post build action, that explains what we can do after the build is complete successfully. Go to post build actions. Here we would see an option deploy war or ER to a container. This option would come up only if we have installed that particular plugin which was related to container. The plugin name was deploy container to plugin. Now if you select this particular deploy war or ER to a container, you will be shown these additional settings where you need to specify which particular war file you want to deploy, what is the context path, and where are the containers located. So in my case, I want to deploy all the war files that would generate out of my project. Normally, if a project has multiple modules, each module would have its own individual war file. But in our case, our sample project has just one module by default, so it won't have multiple war files. The context path, you can give a name of your choice here. Normally, it represents a single web application running within a given instance of the Tomcat web server. And let me choose a container here. Be sure to choose a container, the right version of the container. If you try to recall, we created our Tomcat container using an image which in turn was using Tomcat version 9. So I have used a container Tomcat version 9 and the credentials and URL. So this is the place where I am allowing Jenkins to go inside the Tomcat container and with a write access. If you try to recall, in the Tomcat server, in the users XML file, Tomcat users XML file, we created a new user. The name of that user was admin. So go here and create a new user, admin, and the password that we provided here, I think it was admin again, and save that one. And once you have saved, you can use that from the drop down option here. Now this particular URL is important. If you try to guess it, this is not the public IP address of the host. Instead, it is the private IP address of the host where both the containers are residing. So currently this Jenkins is in container 1. It is trying to access the container 2. So container 2 is accessible using the host IP address, private one, :8888. Why the private IP address? Because every time you reboot your EC2 instance, the public IP is going to change, but the private one would remain the same. So hence I've used the private IP address. So if you go here inside your EC2 console and you can see the private IP address is this one. You can copy this. 223 is the last one. So 223 is the last one. Private IP address. Apply and save. So that's pretty much all. We have configured our job to connect one end of the pipeline to the GitHub repository and other related settings, and the other end of the pipeline is connected to a new container where the Tomcat web server is running. And we have already seen the right mapping of the ports. For the Jenkins, the default port from the host side is 8080, and for the Tomcat server it is 8888. Let's try to build the job and see what happens. I'm trying to build now. Once I click on the build now, a new job will start getting built. I'm going inside the console, clicking on that blue ball icon. So it is showing me the logs. Now the build is complete. As we can see, it shows finish success. Has there been any error? It would have shown here with the right set of error message and the log for you to debug what went wrong. Let's go back to the EC2 instance and see if the build file, the war file, has been copied from container 1 to container 2 properly or not. So let me see if the containers are still running. Yes. Let me go inside the one of the container, which is my Tomcat server. And as I said, the default applications would be copied inside the web apps directory by default. Let me open that up and see what's there. So in my case, the name I gave is myapp.war, and it will automatically unzip the content of this file and create a respective folder. And this content of this folder can be viewed from the browser. That was pretty much all. Thank you for having your first successful build pipeline.